Cyberpunk 2077 has another article written about it because, it's coming out and it's big and it's huge. And in this article, Cyberpunk 2077 is giving people epileptic seizures. This comes from Liana Rupert. First off, again, we'll get into this, but I don't know why anyone would tweet negative things about this person, especially after you read the article. But let's talk about it. There are a lot of Cyberpunk articles. Oh, I'm sorry. Where was I? Where's my brain? Hi. This is Jake, your resident content cowboy here. Yeehaw! And boy, things with Cyberpunk just keep heating up, don't they? She had this tweet and this article over at Game Informer. I did have a bad seizure while playing this game, but look, I get it. I'm stubborn. I'll push myself for something if the desire is high enough. Don't be like me. If you have any sort of epilepsy leanings, here's what you need to know about Cyberpunk 2077. Be safe, friends. And then she posts this article. And as you go through this article, I have read so many articles recently about how awful Cyberpunk 2077 is. And there are a lot of video games that cause seizures, blah, blah, blah. But let me just say, this is not a super unreasonable article written by someone just trying to tear the game down. I do think a lot of articles like this could be written by about a lot of games, but to be fair with this article, they're talking about some very specific triggers that they see inside this game. And in certain modes, like the brain dance mode, according to the article, brain dances are something that CD Projekt Red has been talking about as a feature for a while now, and it's an intricate part of the story from start to finish. Brain dances allow players to interface with memories, often of the deceased, by plugging into a mainframe and diving in. Pretty much everything about this is a trigger, and is something that caused me to have a grand mal seizure while playing to help with our review. So, yeah, that sucks that this person had a seizure. That's not good. And if Cyberpunk, CD Projekt Red, if they could do something to make the game more accessible, I think they should. The hysteria around this article, and around all of these articles, it's just, this is bordering on bananas. So her article, I think, is totally reasonable, and the way she talks about it is totally reasonable. Let me show you, hopefully I can find what I was looking at earlier. First, this is just bizarre. People have sent her hundreds of videos disguised as support that are deliberately flashing to induce photosensitive triggers. This is just insane that someone would do this. I get that you're sick of the games media trying to destroy Cyberpunk. I am too. I really am. But why would you do this? It's just so bizarre. Especially after you read her article, she is not being horrible to CD Projekt Red, and she's just talking about a couple triggers that are in the game. In fact, when you read down here, look at her. We can make changes and raise awareness without attacking the devs. Keep it civil and productive. We can make gaming better. Look how much accessibility has grown just in the last 2 years alone, ? Don't attack the devs. It is so not the right move here. Conversation, not insults. And she's right. And her article really doesn't attack Cyberpunk like a lot of articles recently. I do recognize where people are coming from, because at some point you just go, can you shut up about hating Cyberpunk for 1 second? But I don't think she's being that unreasonable. She's really not. She's talking about something that happened to her while playing Cyberpunk, and her article is not at all, let's tear down CD Projekt Red. But I get that there is just a massive wave of people hating on this game. They're trying to tear it down any chance they can. So, of course, here we are, yet again, another article about Cyberpunk and about something Cyberpunk is doing wrong that I bet a lot of games are doing wrong. But again, I think this person's being totally reasonable in this moment. A couple things. The real Cyberpunk dystopia are gamers physically trying to hurt someone over the internet in the name of a corporate product launch. This is disturbing, even in an industry that got used to this kind of destructive behavior. I would say it is bizarre and disturbing. I hope a lot of people didn't send videos. She says she's been sent hundreds of videos. I don't even want to call into question whether or not that's true. I'll just say I hope that is not true. But it is bad behavior. It really is. Not only does Cyberpunk not have accessibility options for people with epilepsy, it contains a mechanic which is specifically designed to cause seizures in people with epilepsy, and you need it to complete the story. Okay, this is where I take issue. That's not true. It's not true that this is specifically designed to cause seizures in people. So people are just saying things like, Jesus, it's honestly impressively awful that they researched equivalents specifically made for epileptic diagnosis to add it to their game without including any accommodation for actual epileptics. I don't think they did. Did they? When suiting up for a BD, especially with Judy, V will be given a headset that is meant to onset the instance. The headset fits over both eyes and features a rapid onslaught of white and red blinking LEDs, much like the actual device neurologists use in real life to trigger a seizure when they need to trigger one for diagnosis purposes. If not modeled off the IRL design, it's very spot-on coincidence. And because of that is one aspect that I would personally advise you to avoid altogether. Do we really think that they... People, please, do we really believe that they created a device inside this game to give people seizures? Do we really think that's what they did? Can't we be reasonable and say they probably did this by a mistake, probably without question? And it might be good for them to have something, as an accessibility option in case someone has issues with that. There's no way that they did this on purpose. I'm sorry, it doesn't exist. No one... Can you imagine the meeting where they're all sitting around? So here's what's coming along with the game. The crafting system is sort of... Whoa. I have something to say. I run this company. And I want to trigger seizures in people because I'm a monster. But sir, it makes no sense. We're talking about the... Who cares? It's time to trigger seizures because I'm crazy. This isn't what's going on. Her article over here is not insane. The response to all this, it's insane. Now let's look over at Kotaku, the world's leading premier industry in being ridiculous. Cyberpunk 2077 causes seizure, doesn't contain prominent warning. Now I want to point out, I believe this originally said warning. I wish I could find it. It's probably been changed by now. Dang you, Kotaku, you're too fast. Let me see if I can find it. Cyberpunk 2077, Kotaku. At first, I think it said warning, which is wrong. Causes seizure, doesn't contain warning. That's what they said. Now it says prominent warning update. You see, they'll just post something that's not true and then go, update. We just updated it. Their whole article, update. Oh, no, this is right. So let's read further. They talk about the article. They talk about the brain dancing. Right here. The update is, it does include a seizure warning. The update to it not including a seizure warning is that it does include a seizure warning. Don't you think that this article should say deleted? Because it's not true. Now, you can say that it caused a seizure in someone, but it does contain a warning. But now the warning's not prominent. Don't take the article down. Just add the word prominent and put update. And now it's still the same article. So again, this article, not crazy. It's just mentioning something that this player experienced in this game, and they're not attacking the developer and acting like it's awful. At the end of the article, they talk about it's a game with massive content that will crawl under your skin, sometimes in the best way. Our own Andrew Reiner gave the game a 9 out of 10. And it talks about if you have epilepsy, here are some ways to protect yourself. But now we've got the response around this just being absolutely crazy. And Kotaku does what Kotaku does, just lies. This is a blatant lie. And now they're like massaging it like, well, I added the word prominent and I did say update, so I guess I'm allowed to lie about this now. So stupid. Boy, and here we are. Second video of the day. It's early. And man, oh man, they want you to hate this game. I hope you enjoyed this video. Tell me what you think. Am I way off base here? Am I a super cool guy? Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. I love you all. I'll see you next time. Mwah. Goodbye, everybody.